Hello, hello, hello. It looks like I am live, but let me just see if I can bring it up on my other screen. Happy Saturday, everyone. I didn't have any success yesterday during my live seeing it. So let's see. Oh, it looks like it's going to work today. Make sure my volume is all the way down. All right, great. Wonderful. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday, or Saturday, not Sunday. Gosh, get ahead of myself. It's not Sunday yet. All right, so I have another layout in the Everyday You and Me series that we have been working through, and I am just checking because I am missing a couple of pieces. I moved things around on my desk, and as usual, things are missing. And they are stuck to the bottom of my Versamat. So perfect. All right, so let me just plug this in so my phone does not die and you do not see that cord. Okay, so just seeing if I'm semi-straight on my camera here. It looks like I'm a little bit tilted. Let me just see if that makes it better. There's always a delay. Let's just see. I'm just waiting. Okay, that looks a little bit better. That looks a little bit better. Okay, so these are some of the pieces that were left from the Everyday You and Me. So I had some paper left, and I still have some more pieces left, but I had some cardstock left. I had the cutouts that we did from the Pretty and Peacock cardstock. I had a couple of strips of the patterned paper left. I have this big piece of patterned paper left, which I might actually be able to get one more layout. I had a bunch of strips like this that were still left, and so I wanted to go ahead and try and get one more layout out of this, and like I said, I think I might be able to get another one-page layout. I also had two big stickers left. So I had my Happy Place sticker left and Story of Today. Other than that, I had used up all the other stickers on the previous layouts. And then from the chipboard pieces, I had some flowers left, I had hearts, and then I had these sets of leaves. So what I thought I would do for this particular layout is just use up all the rest of the leaves that were part of this, and then if I can get that one-page layout from the rest of the scraps, I'll probably use all of the hearts and the flowers that are left here to finish that out. I do actually have one leaf left, but I don't think, because it's one, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use it on this layout. All right, so what do I have? What I had was a bunch of strips of paper that were different sizes, and I actually kind of liked how this looked by putting these together at the bottom of the page. They are different lengths. I've got one that actually matches exactly the cutout that we did on this piece. Then we've got the Wild Wheat, which is a little bit longer, but not quite a 12 by 12. And then I had a 12 by 12 strip of the patterned paper striped, and then I had a 12 by 12 strip on this side. This one is a little bit shorter than 12 by 12, this piece right here. So what I need to see what I want to do is I might switch a couple of these out. Because this one's also not 12 by 12. So they might be slightly different on each side. And I've got to decide if I like having this shorter, or if I need to cut a piece from that piece that's left, because I do have a whole piece that's left of this specialty paper. I also had big pieces of the watercolor wash paper that had the gradient. I had these two pieces, and I thought they would be great for putting photos on top of this pretty peacock. And then I would be able to bring in additional photos next to that in this box. And then I had the sticker, which also had that same wash on it that is on these pieces of paper. If you can see that, it has that same wash, so it goes really well. And then I could pick up with the flower or the leaves on this. So that was the design, just taking some of the bits and pieces and laying them out, and then just sort of seeing what I thought would go well and how I could use up the rest of the pieces for this layout. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to just shift this Versamat kind of off to the side, and we're going to move this one in. And the first decision I need to really make on this is which piece I'm going to use for for this specialty paper. Because I don't have a full 12 by 12, I'm not sure what I want to do. I don't have another real good piece of this specialty, this paper here, which is the wild wheat color, that I can make 12 by 12 for this size, for the right side. So what I'm thinking I might want to do is just take this piece of paper, which is 12 by 12, and just cut another 1/2 inch off of it. And then I can make sure that I have a 12 by 12 at the bottom. So I think that's going to be my decision here. So I'm going to just go ahead and lay this in and just cut another strip. Again, this still leaves me with a quite usable piece of paper for another layout. And then I can move this piece off into my scrap pile again, and now I've got my 1/2 inch piece here. Okay, so then what I need to do is I need to measure this piece because I want to cut it to be the same length. So I want to make sure that both of these pieces match. And so this particular one is, just measuring up, is 11.5 inches. So I need to take a 1/2 inch off of this one to match it up on the right side. So this is really scrap. I don't need to keep that. And then the last piece that I need to cut just a little bit off of is this piece here, because it is longer than my square. Now, my squares might not be exactly the same size, but visually what I want to do is just make sure that this piece is the same size as my square. So we're just going to measure this, and it looks like it's just a hair over 10 inches, just a smidge over 10. So I'm going to take my piece and bring this over, and we are going to cut this at just a smidge over 10 inches. Not by much, just a smidge. I know that's a real formal measurement, but that's what it is. So again, we've got a little bit of extra here that would be, truly would be scrap. All right, so now that I've got all of that cut and I think we're all good to go, we can now play with getting these pieces down. And this should go relatively fast because I'm really not doing much other than adhering these pieces down onto my base page and then adding my embellishments. So I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing I need to do is I'm going to just move all of these things sort of off to the side here. And we are going to put down our pretty peacock, and we are going to use the dark side this time. I really do like the dark side, so on this layout we're going to use the dark side, and we're just going to make sure that we are on our Versamat. And I'm going to just add my adhesive. I do still use Tombow. I have yet to figure out how to best use the Stampin' Up! Adhesive, unfortunately. I do like the Tombow. It just is really smooth. All right, so I'm going to put this at 11 inches. So I'm going to come down an inch from the top and be about 1 inch from the bottom and 1 inch in from each side. And we're going to put that down. All right, then we have our photo and our other piece of paper. And again, if you like the other side, you can do the other side, but I really like the wash on this. And I just want to decide which way I want it to go. I think I want it to go this way. And I think I will go ahead and put this up on 3D foam tape. So let me just pull out my 3D foam tape. I had it here just a second ago. Hold on. Where'd it go? There. Oh, I thought I had an open one. I guess I don't have an open one, so let's open one up. Here we go. Yes, this is the one I want. So I'm getting my 3D foam tape from Scrapbook.com. Oops, sorry about the rustling there. So I was saying, I get my 3D foam tape now from Scrapbook.com. I do like the dimensionals that Stampin' Up! Has, but I do feel that they work a lot better when you're working on cards. When you have a large area that you're trying to pop up, taking all those little pieces off for me didn't work for me. And I wanted to have a thicker foam tape for my scrapbooks. So for that reason, I bought from Scrapbook.com their foam tape, which I actually like quite a lot. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and cut off some strips. Let's see, is it better to go this way? It looks like it's better to go that way. All right. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful Saturday. It's finally nice and sunny today. We had some strange weather this week, and it wasn't quite as nice, but it's slowly becoming much nicer here. I'm also going to add foam tape to my 2 pictures here. I'm not putting these on any photo placemats, so I could cut my pictures smaller when I actually have my pictures for this, and then the white will become the photo placemat just by printing them or cutting them down a little bit from the standard 3x4 size. So always remember, you can do that. Generally in our pictures, we have extra space around them, and so if you really do like the extra white showing, then I would go ahead and print your pictures and then just trim them down just a smidge so that you get that white border. And that way you can use these photo placeholders as mats as well. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to change my mind. Sorry. I actually want to lay my strips down first so I know where to place my photos. So the first strip I'm actually just going to lay flat. And not flat, but I'm going to butt it right up against the edge of this this piece of Pretty Peacock. And so that's going to go right there. Then I'm going to take the I think this is the way I want to do it. I think I want to do it. Essentially, we're graduating these up like that. So we've got the 2 long ones, then we've got one that's slightly shorter, and then one that's the same size. Okay, so I like that. Okay, so I'm going to take this one. This one is super thin. This is a 1/4 of an inch piece that I have here, so it is quite narrow. So we're going to take that, and I am going to leave a little bit of the Pretty Peacock paper showing through. I don't want to butt these up right against each other. I've done that before in other layouts where, you know, they've been butted right up against each other. But what I do want to do is just make sure I'm straight, because I can tell that I'm not straight right now. So I want to be at the 1 inch mark there. Looks like I'm a little bit off on my placement, but that's okay. Okay, then we're going to take the wild wheat side And again, we're going to center this, giving a little bit of space with the pretty peacock. And I just want to make sure, because I feel like I'm not centered here. That looks better. Like so. And then this last piece here is going to be the same way. And then from there I can decide the placement of my photos. So I'm probably giving it about maybe 1/8 of an inch between each one of these from the looks of it, and this one just looks crooked. So we're going to just do a little bit, change this up just a little bit. This is why you don't push down too hard until you're sure about your placement. Like so. And then this guy, we're going to replace this. And again, these are just strips of leftover paper, right? You could do this with pretty much anything that is left over from a kit that you might have. Okay, all right, so that's good. We've got that. All right, so now I can place my photo placeholder. And I want to make sure I'm straight-ish, because I don't generally place things straight. Okay, so I like that there. And then we're going to add, let's just double check what we're going to do here. Make sure we've got, what I want to do is make sure that I've got about an equal distance for the photos from a balance perspective. And then we're going to just shift this down. I'm not pushing down, you notice, just because I want to make sure that I've got it where I want it before I actually commit. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so those are down, and then we just need to add our photo placeholder on top of this guy. And that's done. Okay, so then we have our saying here. So this is my happy place, and I've got my little leaves. I'm going to go ahead and put this on 3D foam tape as well, but I'm going to make sure that I don't go towards the ends, because I'm going to be sticking these leaves underneath this title. So I want to make sure I give myself room to go ahead and put those leaves underneath. Now, one of the things, we did do some ink blending or inking of the leaves when we were doing the other layouts. When I looked at this, I actually liked the natural color. I didn't really think that I needed to add in any additional color to this. So essentially what I'm just trying to do is create some balance with the leaves that I have left, and making sure that they relate to the layout. So I'm just doing a dry placement right now on this, and doing some overlapping just to see how I like it, and then I can commit to the placement. And you can use liquid glue, or you can use the tape runner kind of adhesive. So I'm going to just do this, and like I said, I didn't think that I needed to do any inking on this. I felt like this natural color kind of stood out really nicely with the with this particular color combination. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm not on the edge there, like so. And then we can add this guy here. and then we'll put in these guys. So I actually did order another one of these paper packs. Not the paper pack and sticker sheet, but just the paper pack. And the cardstock, companion cardstock, because I think this is one of my, these are some colors that I absolutely love, first of all. And then secondly, I was just, I just felt like I had more ideas that I wanted to use with this paper pack. And my upline did a wonderful scrapbook workshop that created with this paper pack with some really great designs. So I really wanted to make that as well. All right, so that's the left side. So let's bring in the right side now. And again, same process. This is going to be a super fast layout, guys. This is not one of those ones that takes a lot of time. These pieces were pretty much already cut. And now I'm just, assembling. So this one, what I do want to do is I do want to match up as close as I can to the left side of this page, because it's going to look funny if I don't have my stripes doing the same thing. So actually what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put down this piece first, because that's going to give me the guide of where to lay the where the pretty peacock piece of paper. So I'm just making sure that my edges are matched up, and then what I can do is I can come in and butt this piece right up against the piece on the left side, and just make sure that we're all good there. So I'm a little bit short on that right side, so let's just do that again. It looks like I'm overhanging just a bit too much. So let's just try that one more time. Okay, there we go, that looks good. Okay, then I can put this piece right up against it. And again, what I'm going to try and do is keep it at 1 inch from the left and 1 inch from the right. And I'm just sort of eyeballing that, but I'm butting it right up against this piece of cardstock or pattern paper. Then I can do the same thing for the other pieces. So what I want to do is, again, make sure that they're lined up. And so I'm going to just match that up with the left side. And again, it's nice because these two pieces are 12 inches in length. Okay, and then the next piece of paper, and this is more of an eyeball, but just again trying to make sure that I'm sort of even on both ends as far as spacing goes. And then the last piece of pattern paper. So like I said, this is a super, super easy layout, easy to replicate, and definitely easy to use with scraps. Okay, so that's all good. All right, so now we can put down our photo placeholder or other pattern paper here. And grab my scissors. Probably if I was smart, I would have designed the last page, because like I said, this one is definitely not going to take us as much time as some of the other layouts that we've done in this series, but hopefully it does give you some ideas on how to use up some of those scraps. All right, so this one, I'm just trying to center on this piece from top to bottom. And I think we need to move it over a little bit. So again, another reason why you don't push it down too hard. Foam tape is notoriously sticky. So even just laying it down easily, I didn't even push on it. The tape is really already stuck to the paper. And I don't have a good spatula to lift it up. So I'm actually doing my best to not tear the paper. There we go. Okay. So we're actually going to redo this. We're going to put this guy down. And then we can put this one. Okay, we're going to go there. Okay, that looks good. Trying to get it, again, somewhat centered against that 4x6. Okay. And then we can add this photo placeholder down. Right there in the middle. I really do, this is, I think, all the papers, this wash paper is one of my favorites. Absolutely one of my favorites. I like this particular layout because you actually get to see that paper a little bit more than in some layouts where you may end up covering up that paper with other things. And so that's one thing I liked about this, is that not only could I use this paper, these scraps up, but I also felt like because of their size, they allowed me to showcase that paper in a really, really nice way, which I really like. Like I said, it is one of my favorite papers in this paper pack. All right, so that is the pieces. So I'm actually going to put 3D foam tape on this sticker as well because I want it to be right up against this this photo mat, or this photo. So I want to have it kind of overlaying on that photo. I can still slide my photo there because the 3D foam tape is actually on this. It's not on the photo itself, or it should be. Yeah. So I should be able to slip my photo in there, no problem. Okay, so then we've got our pieces here. And so, again, slipping things under and over like we did before on each side. And creating this focal point by this particular, let's get this underneath here. There we go. And this guy. Here. That, and then we'll do one more here. Like so. Like that. Okay. So the only thing that I see is missing is that this feels a little bit bare up here at the top. So so when you're thinking about embellishments, you want to think about a visual triangle. So I've got an embellishment up here and I've got an embellishment up here, but I'm sort of missing another embellishment to create a visual triangle, right? So if you say that this is one end of the triangle and this is the corner or the other piece, I kind of need something up here, right? So if we're doing a plane like this, so this is one side, and then if you go up, there should be something up here to balance this out. And so it sort of depends on how you want to think about it. You could put it up here in the corner. or down here or up here in this corner. So I don't have a lot of things left that I can use from the perspective of the stickers or anything. So all of those things I've actually used up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come in and I'm going to see what I have left in my bag. So I've got a couple of strips here that I have left. And then I have some cardstock. So here are some of those smaller strips. So this is a great way to use up some of the strips, is doing what I'm going to do here. So I've got a whole bunch of little things. This is actually a piece that was left over. Maybe we'll use that too. Let's just see. So I'm going to just pull out some of these. Some of these bigger ones I want to save, like that one. That one's a really nice one to save, but this is a good one. This is a good one. This is longer, so I think I want to save that. I think I want to save that. All right, so let's see what we can play around with this. So I don't know why I cut this off for project 2. I didn't use all of this, so I've got this. And then I've got these other strips. Now, I haven't introduced the flowers here, so I don't think I want to use the flower side. But again, all of these strips are kind of the same, the same pattern. So that's not going to be as interesting. So if I take this piece, I might be able to do something with that. So let's see. Let's go ahead. We're going to cut a flag or a tag with this. So let's just say, let's do a 1-inch size. Again, this is an extra piece, so if I don't end up liking it, I probably wouldn't use it anyway. So we're just going to create a flag by cutting up the middle here and then cutting into that middle slice like this. And then we're going to lay this out. We're going to decide if we like it. This was the piece I had not laid out before I got on camera. All right, so then if I take, say, this one, I kind of like that. So let's cut that guy. I didn't do a straight cut. Any of you do straight cuts? I am not good at straight cuts. Doesn't matter how straight my scissors are. I am not good at straight cuts with just scissors. I admire people who seem to be able to do that. Okay, so then we've got that guy like that. And just wondering, should I do this one? Then I'm trying to see which way works better, because this I feel like blends in way too much with the background. And so I'm trying to see if I can get it to pop a little bit more by doing this. Maybe this is the way it goes. Maybe this is it. No. Okay, so I think it's that. Sorry, I'm thinking. Sometimes it takes a while for my brain to work. Okay, so we're going to take this piece, we're going to dovetail this as well. And I don't know if anyone's out there screaming at me, no, do this. I always wonder if people have better ideas than I have. Okay, so if we take this and we lay that, I think that helps. And then maybe if we put another piece here, let's just see. No, I don't like that. And I don't think I like it on here either. So let's take this piece again. Let's see if this one works. Okay, I think that one might work. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adhere these guys down, and then I'm going to turn this over and trim it up. because that way I can, and I'm going to just slide this down a little bit so I can work on it a little bit easier. All right, so I'm going to just decide where I want this here, and then I'll put this guy down. And again, you want these staggered. And the other thing as a technique or to understand is where this cut is, where the point of the center point is, you want to lay it on the line of the previous flag or the previous one that you looked at. And that just brings these two pieces together as a cohesive set. I kind of learned that just watching some of the previous people who I learned from, that they always laid their flags like that. And so what I'm trying to decide is, where do I want this guy? And I'm trying to decide if I want it, where do I like it best? Because I don't want it longer than this one, but shorter I'm not sure looks right. I'm feeling like it needs to go maybe there, like that. Okay, and then we're just going to flip this over and trim these guys off. Like so. Okay, so again, that just gave us a little bit of visual interest in this upper corner that allowed us to create a visual triangle. So the only other thing is that I didn't use this piece of paper over on the left side, and I'm actually okay with that. The reason being is I feel like this reads very neutral, or very, the pattern isn't over the top. And so having this pattern over here, I don't think is necessary, because I think it reads as the pretty peacock. And so if it was a different color, then I would probably want to make sure that I had it over on the left-hand side. But like I said, when I look at it, it really reads as a solid. That's the word I was looking for. It reads as a solid. And so I don't think that I need to add this extra piece. Now I will keep these pieces because I might use them on the next layout. I can always use them for flags on the next layout. But I'm done. That's it. That's the layout. So again, just using the scraps of paper that we had in the last two stickers, the My Happy Place sticker, the leaves from the die cuts, and just a few photos. And again, we have a pretty solid layout that you can get five photos on. You could certainly add more photos to this if you wanted to, with flip flaps, or arranging the photos slightly differently. You could put another 2 photos here or 3 photos here on this section if you wanted to. So again, I think it's a nice complement to the other layouts that we created from the kit. All right, everyone, it has been fun putting this one together. If you celebrate Easter, I hope you have a wonderful Easter Sunday tomorrow. I will be working on creating one more layout, it looks like, from this particular set paper pack from the workshop itself. There might be additional layouts coming since I ordered more. And then I did do my paper pumpkins. I have 2 paper pumpkins that I still need to do layouts for. So trying to get on top of that as well. But hopefully everyone has a wonderful rest of your afternoon or evening, and a happy Sunday to you, however you celebrate. And I will see you on the next live. Thanks, everyone.